So, we're going to be talking about judging others. And what does the Bible say about that, right? The phrase judge not or you will be judged is a biblical teaching from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 1 through 3. The advice is against judging others because the same standard of judgment will be applied to you. It's a reminder to refrain from being critical and to consider your own flaws before pointing out others, as the way you measure or judge others will be measured used against you. And that's why it's very important not to judge other people. Meaning and context, biblical origin. The saying comes from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount in the New Testament. Do not judge others. The current message is a warning against condemning others. The Bible states, do not judge or you too will be judged. Reciprocity of judgment. The saying emphasizing that the way you judge others will be the way you are judged in return. So in other words, whatever you say about the way you say about others, you will be held against the same way. In other words, focus on self-reflection. Jesus encourages people to look at their own faults before criticizing others, using the metaphor of removing a speck of dust from a brother's eye while ignoring a log in your own. So in other words, if you're talking about others, it's without looking at your own, who are you to judge, in other words. Hypocrisy, which we all do, and we're not aware of it. The teaching is often used to highlight the hypocrisy of being overly critical of others while overlooking one's own sins. Intended application. The teaching is not meant to prevent all forms of discernment or accountability, but specifically to warn against a critical, hypocritical, and self-righteous attitude towards others. Excuse me? So, you see, it's important not to judge others, because if we judge others, we get the same applied back to us. So it's best that we are careful and we discipline ourselves not to judge others. So this is important about the disciplining our own faith in Him, because we don't want to fall in the wrong hands when it comes to Judgment Day, which Judgment Day or judgment I will be discussing next week. I'm going to talk about that next week, the Judgment Day. Hopefully you guys will be here.